Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear, and I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona. And every single week, we provide a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition. I've visited so many amazing chapters lately. I am still in the process of continuing to visit all the East Valley chapters, so stay tuned. I'll be visiting you guys very soon. And we are still in extravaganza mode, guys. So extravaganza ends next week. So what that means is any visitors that have come to your meeting, guys, you'll want to make sure that they submit their applications by May 31st. It doesn't have to be approved by May 31st. They just need to submit their application by May 31st to count towards extravaganza and Beningo. So if the category is one of the categories on the cards, make sure definitely to get their application in before May 31st. That is the cutoff day for applications. Now, we will allow membership committees 2 weeks past the May 31st date to process those applications, so that way they do count towards extravaganza. But application date is king, guys. So applications for extravaganza are April 1st through May 31st. But it's a strict window between those dates. So if it was submitted prior to April 1st and it was just approved in the window, again, it counts on the application date, not the approval date. So I just wanted to make sure to clarify that. And if you guys aren't, so I've been sending out recap emails of all the updates for extravaganza and the new members that have been coming in. If a new member has joined your chapter and you don't see your name as the sponsor, please reach out to me. What I've found is that a lot of the newer members don't have a sponsor name listed in BNI Connect, which means they did not list who invited them on their application. It's really important, because if they don't list it on the application, it won't get into BNI Connect, because I do check the application just to double check, make sure the system maybe perhaps didn't pull the information, because if they spell the name wrong, then it won't pull the information. So I just want to make sure that when you look at the recap email that I send out, guys, if you know that you sponsored someone, reach out to me. I can let you know if they count towards extravaganza and make sure that you're listed as their sponsor. For those of you who did not know, you can check your own sponsor list, because we want to make sure that you guys get credit for all of the amazing people that you are inviting to BNI and sharing the gift of BNI with. And so in BNI Connect, there is a sponsor report. So in BNI Connect, if you go at the top and click on reports, and it's under chapter reports, there's a report that says sponsor report. If you click on that report, you can choose any date range that you'd like. But in that report, it'll tell you which new members that have come into BNI have your name listed as their sponsor. Now, if you know someone had joined BNI in the past that you had personally sponsored and their name's not showing up on the list, even if they've left BNI, their name will still show up on that sponsor list. So it doesn't need to be active members, and that list is for the lifetime of BNI. So that list is kept forever in the system. So you want to make sure that you are looking to make sure that you're getting credit. If you look at that sponsor list and you're like, hey, I'm missing some people on this list, all you have to do, guys, is email me the names of the people that are missing from that list. And what I'll do is I'll check their application. If they have a different name listed on the application, then we can kind of figure out and connect with them potentially to see who they want listed as their sponsor. But most of the time, when I do check, it's just because it's blank. And so we want to make sure that we get everyone the credit that they are due, especially for inviting so many amazing people to our BNI Arizona community. And so that way you get the recognition, of course. So we do have multiple sponsor clubs as well, so which gets you some really fancy name badges, and we'll have some special recognition events as well coming up. But there's 3 levels of recognition for our sponsors. So the first level is the Gold Club. You may see a lot of members that have the Gold Club name badge, and that means they sponsored 6 or more new members throughout the lifetime of BNI. That's the first level. The second level is Platinum. So that is where you sponsor 15 or more new members into BNI through the lifetime of BNI, and you'll get a Platinum badge. And then there is Titanium, to where you sponsor 30 or more new members through the lifetime of BNI. And we are revamping our website and everything, guys, to include more recognition. So stay tuned for more. If you didn't notice, our website has already revamped a little bit. So Jenny Rowe out of BNI Apex has been doing an amazing job with helping us revamp and kind of update our website, which is really exciting. So we're going to have a lot more resources coming soon on the website and make it a lot more user-friendly. So we're really excited about all that. But today's topic is all around just making sure that you guys get credit for the new members that you're sponsoring into your BNI chapter, whether it's your chapter or another chapter. So that's the great thing about BNI, is that when it comes to inviting visitors to other chapters, now cross-chapter visitors unfortunately can't count in the visitor numbers in BNI Connect. The reason being is because if, let's say I was in Hall of Fame chapter and I invited someone over to BNI Apex, if that visitor were to count for me in Hall of Fame, that would actually throw off Hall of Fame's visitor to member conversion ratios, because it would look like they had more visitors than they actually did. So that's why those cross-chapter visitors unfortunately can't count in the system, so it won't give you visitor credit. However, you want to make sure that you get the sponsor credit. So check that report, guys. Email me if you see any discrepancies in the sponsor report for the people that you had personally sponsored into BNI, so that way we can get it updated. No matter how long ago it's been since they've been in BNI, as long as I can find their profile, I can get it updated in the system. Super easy. It only takes a few minutes, but I just need to know the information so that way I can get it updated for you guys. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But again, make sure applications, guys, for Extravaganza get in by May 31st. Their online application date has to say May 31st. If it says June 1st, it will not count towards Extravaganza. The date of the online application is so key. I know that several chapters aren't meeting next week due to the Memorial Day holiday, so this is even more of an importance to make sure that you're following up with visitors. Again, they don't need to be approved by May 31st. They just need to get their application submitted. So if someone was on the fence and unsure if they wanted to kind of move forward, have them submit an application prior to the deadline, and then they can evaluate it after that. Nothing says that we can't remove an application if they change their mind, but at least then if they do decide to move forward and the membership committee goes through and processes their application, they'll count towards Extravaganza and all the fun prizes in store, because we have the cash prizes for Bendigo and we've got the cruise. So the cruise dropped down to a chapter needs at least 3 new members into the chapter for any of those sponsored names to be put into the drawing for the cruise. And that's for the member and a +1. It includes airfare, all the fun stuff. So, which again is why I wanted to highlight the importance of making sure your name is listed as a new member's sponsor in BNI Connect, so that way you get the credit. Make sure to check the emails, guys, that I send out. I'll be sending another recap for Extravaganza this Friday, so that way you guys can check it out. So if you don't see your name, respond back and say, hey, I sponsored so-and-so into my chapter or another chapter, and I want to make sure that I get the credit for that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition of Wisdom Wednesday. And as always, once you're done watching this, go into your BNI Connect app and log 1 chapter education for watching. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next week.